excited about today's guest, and you look like you're already organized, so I'm gonna let you take it away.
We are excited to have Charisse Merrill. She's a Pinterest strategist with 7+ years of Pinterest experience. She specializes in teaching other busy entrepreneurs organic Pinterest marketing in 10 minutes a day so they can spend more time with their family and less time on social.
Hi, thank you for having me here.
And so, yeah, we're looking forward to hearing your strategies and your thoughts and all about video. So what would be, let's just talk about, like, for us, and for maybe those of our clients that are not on Pinterest yet, what would you say, what are the first steps? Where would we start? And what advice would you give a total newbie?
Okay, so honestly, and this is the first steps with business that you don't realize it is, seeing that growth on Pinterest doesn't start with a platform. You really want to make sure you have your ideal client and your niche in place. And so really knowing your ideal niche and what direction you're going to go with your business. And if you have a product or service, how you're going to get paid, make money in that business. I call it cataloging, like the library catalog your business into Pinterest. And so that you can get it better versus starting with one thing and then switching it around and having to wait for it to go through the Pinterest drop. And then I recommend going on and doing keyword research with Pinterest.
Now, are there tools that you use to do keyword research on Pinterest, or can you just do it natively?
So my still personal favorite is to just doing it on Pinterest. It also gives you a visual of what pins are floating to the top of the system and that type of thing. And there is a tool that I recommend using, and it's trends.pinterest.com. It's Pinterest Trends tool. And they just updated it a few months ago to where it's.
So now, are you putting those terms as hashtags? Did you say that already? No, just natively in your caption.
Yep. So typically I use those keywords as sentences and I add them as sentences. So I try to add 2 to 3 sentences, and then I might do a few of those short or long-term keywords under there.
So after keyword research, which I love, what will be the next thing for us newbies?
So you want to get your profile set up, and you want to think about those keywords and only do one business per profile unless your businesses really do overlap. So if you're health and maybe you have essential oils, they might overlap. Okay. But you want the same ideal client. So you want to set up your profile name, and that can either be your business name if you do social media marketing. So you want to put the keyword, if you have some, in your name, and then in your description, 1 to 2 sentences. You don't really want to do so if you do want to go in and give a little bit of background about your business, you can. Now, I recommend adding a freebie link. So CharisseMerrill.com/free to link to a freebie or something. So when people go to your profile page, they can see that freebie. Again, it's not clickable on the image, but it tells them that you have more. And so if they're coming from Instagram to Pinterest, you want to make sure the branding is consistent so they know they're on the right Pinterest profile, because it might not say your business name. It might have some keywords and stuff. So
do they still have the header image that it actually compiles using your pins?
Not anymore.
That was kind of cool.
Image for so long,
yeah,
but they don't anymore. And it used to be longer and skinnier, and now it's short and chubbier.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
And they'll play around with that. I do recommend having one up. For 99% of the population don't link to anything. So having that board cover and those board images does make it look a lot nicer and aesthetically. So I do recommend doing those.
Okay, and a board is like a category, if you will.
I recommend creating boards around pain points.
So I guess I'm thinking about playlists. So for us, we talk about video marketing, social media marketing, virtual assistants. So some of our playlists obviously would be great categories for boards, I'm guessing.
That's a really good idea. Yeah, that's great. And you can do, depending on how general or specific you want to get. So I still have a Pinterest marketing board, but I also have a Pinterest marketing for bloggers, or like Pinterest marketing for entrepreneurs. So my board might be Pinterest marketing, but I might talk about Pinterest marketing for bloggers, for entrepreneurs, for coaches, for service providers, for e-commerce shops, and put all those keywords in the board description, because that gets cataloged with Pinterest.
Yeah, that's actually really similar to playlists.
Better, Pinterest is going to understand you and figure out how to get, and all these keywords is how users find you. So Can I dig into this super quick?
Yeah, we
So
love it.
Pinterest is a search engine. So when you think about YouTube and Google, you don't just hop on there just to scroll the feed. You hop on there typically with a purpose in mind, whether it's a purpose for in 3 years, you're going to take a vacation, but there's a purpose. So typically, if your pins are showing up in a feed on Pinterest, there will be some promoted pins and stuff, but typically it's because you've researched some point in the past that topic. And so it's a search engine. So the only way people are going to see your pins is by using those keywords. Without the keywords, then they're not just hopping on and being bored and lazily scrolling through. Typically.
So are there any tools that you can use to help you with terms like SEO type terms? What's trending now, or what's the most popular?
The Pinterest Trends tool has that now. There are other things outside of Pinterest that you can search for trends and tools, and you can type in stuff and they'll spit out headlines and descriptions. I don't like that because that's just too much work for me. There's too many things open, there's too much going on, but Pinterest Trends tool has expounded on that, which is great because people were going to a lot of other tools that weren't specifically from Pinterest.
What were the pins that you called the ideas pins? Is that what they're called?
So these are your images. So these are just a static pin. You click them, they go to your blog post, they go to your website, they can go to your Etsy shop page, they can go anywhere. Now, I still recommend doing these, but they are taking a lot longer to take off since idea pins have come on. But I still recommend it because the whole goal is to get people to your website, to look at your stuff, to sign up for your email list, to grow as a business. So you can link up those pins to YouTube. So this is a way to repurpose content. You can go and create 10 pins for one YouTube video. And so those are standard pins. You have the image. Please put text over the top. Don't just do an image. Text over the top. And then there's video pins. In my opinion, they'll randomly take off and then they'll flop. And then they'll randomly take off and then they'll flop. So I personally don't like video pins. So idea pins will get you the profile views. Sometimes you might get leads from them. They will get you the followers and they will get you the saves and that engagement to really boost. Your standard pins will get you that traffic, the clicks, and hopefully a lot more of the freebie signups.
So I'm thinking you could have 3 or 4 slides in a idea pen, but you could probably have that for one video, you could probably create 3 or 4 of those. Does that make sense?
So you can do it a few different ways. So we're digging into the repurposing portion now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the first thing I'm just going to throw out really quick, and we're going to go back, is I highly recommend either having your VA or finding templates and creating pins for your videos on YouTube already or to your blog post already. That content you already have, just create pins for it and you can put that out there. Okay. So that's a really easy way. Now, for the videos, so Pinterest allows 1-minute segment for the videos. You can literally take out that first topic and just do 3 1-minute slides and have one idea pin and another idea pin and another idea pin, right? 5 idea pins. Or you can take just the beginning of each of those. And I do recommend the last slide being a call to action, but you can also do boards. And so you are able to do that in the native app on Pinterest. But those video clips, you can upload them onto your desktop and create an idea pin that way, or you can do them from your phone.
Okay. Can they be scheduled through Canva?
Sometimes it doesn't bring in the alt text. I recommend you are able to schedule, I think it's 2 weeks out.
Yeah, that's one of the things about having a virtual assistant, because there's things you can't schedule like reels and stories.
What is Pinterest looking for? Are they looking for things that are saved or pinned, or what do they recognize as important content?
Okay, they want content that adds value. So what they're not looking for is spammy content. So if you have a pin and they click and they go to the website and it's throwing ads at them and you can't even find the information and they bounce back to Pinterest, if that happens so many times on that specific pin or that specific website, you'll notice a drop in traffic because they're like, everyone's bouncing back. It's clickbaity and they really don't want that. And with the idea pins, they do want people to stay on the platform more. But what they want is they want value. They market themselves as being the last inspirational platform on the web. So very uplifting, happiness, and they want value. So they want that new value and that content.
So I love this because it is, if you give value, you will always have clients. I feel like that's just the easiest thing. If you always put content out there that's truly helping people, you'll never want for business.
So does Pinterest still, I know it used to skew upscale females, like in general. That's what I read about it. It scaled upscale females, and people were going on there because they wanted to buy something. Like,
I don't agree with it. They are more of a buying platform when you compare them to Facebook or Instagram. But if I think of like Google, searching for products on Google, or Amazon, I don't feel that way. Now you talk about upsell females. Yes, females mainly dominated Pinterest, and they are still, I think it's 75% still. Men are getting on there. So the average household income of Pinterest users is higher than that of other platforms. So they do have more money, dealing to say, I go onto Pinterest looking for ideas and I go buy them on Amazon. But they are catering more towards that shopping platform. Met a ton of people where they're like, yeah, Pinterest is where all my sales come from.
Right.
Because typically but that's where you can get the affiliate links to. And that's why you link them to the YouTube video or the blog post where you talk to them about this. You build that know and trust.
So it'll be interesting to see how Pinterest does move in that direction of a buying platform.
So it is easier to do affiliate marketing that way if you don't do it in the spammy way. A lot of people will just do I'm going to go to doTERRA essential oils because I see it everywhere, or even just your clothes. And then they would just go to the doTERRA website from the business consultant without even having their own website. So it's I'll just go talk to my aunt who sells oils, even though like she hasn't talked to me in years, because her versus this person actually added value. I'm more willing to buy from the value. So doing affiliate links better that way.
So I like to use this analogy of a flywheel, right? Once you get a flywheel going, it goes on its own. And the way we think about it is creating that great piece of content for YouTube. And at this time, our strategy is repurposing it to Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and now TikTok. But I can totally see how adding Pinterest in is going to be a huge part of this. Because like you said, we can use those pins to drive traffic back to YouTube. YouTube loves to see traffic being brought into YouTube, right? And so everything that you do in this marketing circle kind of continues to contribute to the flywheel of people getting to know you, people wanting to buy from you, people signing up to have a conversation with you. Because for us, we don't really have a click and buy link. We have to have a conversation with people because we are pairing them with virtual assistants and it has to be the right fit. But again, marketing your business is all about building your business, but you need to have a strategy that's cohesive. And the other thing that I loved is that you're really building your email list with Pinterest. And I feel like that goes right into that. So tell us if you have a freebie you want to give out, and then tell us about your program, because we want to know about both, please.
Yeah, so I have a few freebies, but I'll talk about the Pinterest keywords one because most of you guys are probably not on Pinterest. Really quick, and we talked about this at the beginning. I do have a Pinterest keywords where it's going to walk you through how to find those trends and those keywords. I don't do a lot of trending keywords personally because of Pinterest marketing. I do have a quick start guide, which will help you understand the business aspect of how Pinterest works as a business. And then I called my 10-minute a day pinning strategy the POG method. It stands for Pinterest Organic Growth. And it's an online academy that you work through at your own pace. There's workbooks, and I walk you through everything from setting up your profile, getting your pinning strategy in place, creating pins, how to design pins, idea pins, affiliate links, and then the G part, like what do we need to figure out to make sure you can attract those leads. And also digging into the analytics portion, because if you're not going back and seeing what's actually working, then how are you going to keep that wheel going and keep growing with it? So that is the Pinterest Organic Growth Academy. There's worksheets, everything with it. And you do have 3 months Pinterest support in a private Facebook group or Messenger or whatever, because I want to make sure you're able to apply it for your business, because every business is different. And so that's
what's the cost of your program?
So it is $797 is the Organic Growth Academy.
Love it. I love it.
So I will ask you, if you don't mind, Charisse, will you please put the links under this video in our group so people can get your freebies and find out more about if they're interested in joining your Online Growth Academy?
Yes. And
you have told us an incredible amount of value about how to work with Pinterest. And I know we bombarded you with questions, but you're a rock star. And the fact that you're bringing up 5 kids and 2 businesses, and whew, that's a lot.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Kudos to you.
Thank you for having me here. I've really enjoyed it. And I will go post those links and I will interact more in your group. I
Oh,
promise.
we appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you. Perfect. All right. Thank you again, Charisse. And thank you everyone for being here. So thanks again, and we'll see you all next week. Bye.